The post wasn't mine, but it had my name, my face, and the words I never typed. At first I thought it was some cheap impersonation, a troll with too much time. But then I read the rest and my blood went cold. It described what I was doing right then, the flickering lamp on my desk, the half-empty coffee mug, even the way I kept checking over my shoulder like I already knew something was wrong. I scrolled down, pulse hammering in my ears. Another reply appeared, time-stamped just minutes earlier. This one was worse. It wasn't a prediction, it was a memory of something I hadn't told a single living soul. That was the moment I realized this wasn't just a game or a story or some twisted prank. But I should probably start from the beginning. It started the way a lot of bad ideas do, late at night, too much caffeine and that restless kind of boredom that makes you click one link too far. I'd fallen into a rabbit hole of nostalgia, scrolling through old creepypasta stories like it was 2010 again. Yeah, I know, who still reads creepypasta in 2025. But there's something comforting about it, like dusting off an old horror paperback and realizing the cheap jump scares still work. That's when I found it, a forum I'd never heard of before. The design looked ancient, like it hadn't been updated since the dial-up days. The kind of place where you expect broken links and a few cringy fanfics, not whatever this was. The threads were alive, though. Dozens of recent posts, eerie titles glowing in that familiar forum blue. At first glance, it seemed harmless, just people sharing stories, but the rules caught my eye, especially one that didn't make sense. Rule 7: Do not reply to yourself. I laughed, thought it was some inside joke, but something about the phrasing stuck with me. Against my better judgment, I made an account. My first post was nothing special, just a recycled ghost story I remembered from high school. A shadow at the end of the hallway, footsteps that never matched my own, the usual. I hit submit and sat back expecting silence, but within minutes the replies started. User dead eyes, cliché but not bad. Funny you drink too much coffee, fits the jittery vibe. That caught me off guard. Sure, I'd mentioned being tired in passing on another thread, but nothing about coffee. I shrugged it off, lucky guess. Then another reply came in. Midnight host, not bad, but shadows don't just watch, they wait, like the one at your desk lamp. I glanced at the flickering bulb above me and felt a chill. Probably coincidence, probably. The comments kept coming, each one sharper, closer, personal. One even included the name of the diner where I eat breakfast sometimes. Another. You should really check that lock on Maple Street. That was my street, my exact street. But I laughed it off back then, told myself it was all part of the roleplay. I had no idea the forum was only getting started. At first I told myself it was harmless, some weird ARG maybe or obsessive trolls. But the posts didn't just reference my life anymore. They started writing it line by line before it happened. One night I refreshed the thread and saw a reply staring back at me. Ink veins, you'll be late for work again tomorrow. Don't forget the second cup of coffee, your first one always goes cold. The next morning I overslept. My alarm didn't go off, and sure enough I found myself gulping down a second cup while the first sat untouched on my desk, stone cold. Then came another post. Shadow script, don't forget to lock your door tonight. I remember the way my stomach dropped, the way the doorknob gleamed faintly in the hallway light. I locked it twice, checked 3 times, but still couldn't sleep. That was the night I had the nightmare. The one they described in perfect detail, the dripping walls, the faceless figure leaning over me. I woke up gasping, sheets damp with sweat. And when I checked the forum, the post was already there, word for word. I didn't tell anyone about it, not then, not even about the reply that predicted a tragedy I'll never forget. That was the night everything shifted. After that, the forum stopped pretending. They weren't just leaving cryptic comments anymore, they were writing full stories. My stories. I'd click a new thread and see paragraphs laid out like a biography, every detail ripped from my day. What I ate, who I spoke to, the thoughts I didn't say out loud. One post even mentioned something I'd buried years ago, something I never told anyone. The way my hands shook at my father's funeral. The exact words I whispered when I thought no one could hear. Reading it felt like having my chest cracked open. I kept refreshing, desperate for some explanation, some glitch, but it was undeniable. They weren't guessing, they knew. And if someone here is part of that forum, stop reading now, I mean it. Still here, figures, curiosity kills more than cats. I should have logged out for good, but instead I noticed a tab I hadn't seen before. a members-only thread tucked away like it was waiting for me. The rules had been clear: do not reply to yourself. I should have listened. But of course I clicked. That was the moment I broke everything. The members-only thread wasn't hidden behind a password or puzzle, it was just there like the site had been waiting for me to notice. I clicked and instantly knew I shouldn't have. Every story in that thread wasn't a story, it was a person. Names, dates, fears, last moments. Whole lives written out like drafts with edits marked in red. Some of the names I recognized: old classmates, a neighbor who'd gone missing last year, even one of my coworkers. The deeper I scrolled, the worse it got. Pages and pages of futures, things that hadn't happened yet, deaths scheduled like calendar events. Then at the very top, a fresh post, my username, my picture, the words, "You're not supposed to be here." I froze, breath locked in my chest. And that's when my notifications lit up. I deleted the account that night. Or at least I thought I did. But the stories kept appearing, threads with my name, updated daily, recounting things I hadn't even done yet. I'd wake up, check the site, and there it was, my tomorrow already written. The first post I ever saw comes back to me now. The one that wasn't mine but carried my face, my name, and the words I never typed. It feels less like a glitch and more like a warning. The forum still exists. I checked before recording this. Maybe it's watching me now, maybe it's watching you. If you're smart, you won't go looking for it, you won't click, you won't sign up. Some stories aren't meant to be read. And if a comment shows up below this video with my username, don't reply.